my wonderful people. I welcome you back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to learn how to draft a basic skirt. So we are going to make use of your tape rule, your marker, your scissors, of course, and your ruler. So the measurement we are going to be dealing with is your waist 27, hips 34, and skirt length of 20. So what you have to do is to get your paper ready and then divide your paper into two. The paper I'm using here is not wide enough, so if you are using the widest paper, you can use your hip circumference plus 3 inches or 4 inches. So you divide it into two, then you mark it straight down like that. You divide it into two, then you mark it straight down like that. Here I'm using pencil because I might made a mistake, so it will be easy for me to correct. So after doing that, you are going to mark out your 0.5 inch allowance at the upper part. That is the joining allowance for your band. If you are not adding a band to your skirt, there's no need of removing 1.5 from your band from your skirt length. But here I'm adding band to my skirt, so I'll be using 1.5. As you can see, you can use 2, but here I'll be using 1.5. So place your 1.5 at that horizontal line, then mark out all your vertical measurements, which is your hip cut. My hip cut is 7 and my skirt length is 20 inches, and that is what I'm doing here. I'm marking it out like that, both for front and back. Mind you are placing your 1.5 at that horizontal line, not at the edge of the paper. So don't do that mistake. Then draw your horizontal line like that, and for the back you are marking out 1 inch for zip allowance. Don't forget, marking 1 inch for zip allowance. So, and don't forget to add 1.5 into your skirt length. You can use 1.5 inch or 2 inches for your skirt length folding allowance at the down part. As you can see, but here I am making use of my 1.5 inch allowance. Then you draw your horizontal line like that. You draw it, connect all the lines together, all the points together. So I'm going to be using my red marker now so that you can see it very well. I'm going to be using my red marker now. That is my folding allowance, which is 1.5 inch. As you can see it very well. And here is my hip cut line. The hip cut varies, depends on how tall the person is, but the normal formula you can use for your hip cut line is 8. But as for me, I'm not too tall, so I'm using 7 inches for my own hip cut. I'm using 7 inches downward like that. So after doing all that, you are going to be adding your zip allowance of 1 inch. I've said this earlier. Add your zip allowance of 1 inch like so. Add it and mark it straight. Join all the points together. Connect them together like that. It's very simple. It's very simple to do. After that, what's next now is for you to label all your pattern. Here I have my center, back, and here, I'm sorry my camera does not show that place. I'm marking out my center front, my waist, my hips, and my folding allowance, my skirt length and my folding allowance. That is what I'm doing over there. That's what I'm doing over there. So now what remains for me now is to insert all my horizontal measurement, which is your waist divided by 4, your hips divided by 4, and for the down part we are going to be using your hip circumference minus 4, your hip circumference minus 4, then divided by 4. My waist is 27, so I've divided it by 4 and it's giving me like 6.75, and there I'm marking it out like that. And my hip cut is 34. My hip cut is 34, which is 8.5. If you don't have your calculator beside you, you can make use of your tape rule to calculate your measurement. So here is how to use it. This is my 34 inches. Fold it into 2 like that. Fold into 2 like that, and refold it again into 4. Fold it again into 4. Fold it again into 4. So here is my 8.5 inches. So that is how to use your tape rule to calculate your measurement. So I'm marking out my 8.5 inches, and as I've said earlier, that you minus 4 from your hip circumference to get the down part measurement. So it depends on how you want it. You mark it out like that, and my hip circumference is 34, and minus 4 from it, it's going to give me 30. So 30 divided by 4, I'm having like 7.5 inches at the end of the day. So at that place, I'm going to mark out my 7.5 inches like that from my center front and from my center back. So if you are just joining me on this channel, please, I would like you to like it, share, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'll be dropping a video here every week, so that whenever I drop my video, you'll be the first person to see it. Make sure you press the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I drop my video. And I would like you to drop your comments concerning this video. Like you to drop your comments. So after that, you connect all the points together like that. You connect all the points together like that. Connect it together like that. And here is my pattern. Here is my pattern. So what remains for me now is my dart measurement. My dart measurement, you can use the normal formula for dart measurement is 4 by 4, 4 by 4, but you can use this your nipple to nipple divided by 4. What I mean by nipple to nipple is your bust distance divided by 4. Mine is 7 divided by 2, sorry, mine is 7, so I'm dividing it by 2. So I'm making use of 3.5 from my center front, also from my center back. I'm marking 3.5 like that, marking 3.5 like that. Then from that joint place, I'm going to come down by 4. I'm going to come down by 4 from the edge of my paper, coming down by 4. So it's going to be 3.5 by 4, 3.5 by 4. I'm connecting all the lines together, So if your client's nipple to nipple is 9, you can divide it by 4. So you'll be using 4.5 for your clients, or yes, 4.5 for your clients. So it's going to be 4.5 by 4.5. So now to get your dart leg, you mark ½ inch from your waist. You mark it ½ inch. It's ½ inch. It's not going to be increased. It's going to be ½ inch like that. It's going to be ½ inch like that, and you connect it like so. So that is how to create your dart legs. Connect it ½ inch from each side. So that is how to construct your dart leg. Now I'm labeling my pattern, which is 0.5, 0.5, and from that place 0.5, 0.5. So there I make use of 3.5, then 3.5 by 4, 3.5 by 4. So My camera doesn't show part of my center front, but I want to assure you that it's the same thing with the back. The only difference is the zip allowance. So now from my center back, I'm marking upward 6 inches for my slit. You can use 6 inches, you can use 7 inches, depends on the length of your skirt. You can use 3 inches, you can use 7 inches, but for me, I'm making use of 6 inches, and I'm using overlapping slit. So 6 inches like that, I'm using overlapping slit. That is why I cross it like that. So I cross it like that. So this is my hips divided by 4, my waist divided by 4, and of course my hips, my hip circumference minus 4, then divided by 4. So I hope you get the formula. That is the formula, that's the magic. So now what remains now is for you to return all the darts you've removed from your skirt. We remove 1 inch from that place. If you did not return the 1 inch you used for your dart back to the front, it's going to affect your skirt, it's going to affect it a lot. So I'm returning that allowance back to the front now. I'm returning it down, then return it like that, then you connect it from your hip line to your waist like that. Connect it like that. So after that, you mark your joining allowance. Your joining allowance is depends on the it depends on the your materials. So you can use 2 inches for your joining allowance, you can use 1.5. The minimum you can use for your joining allowance is 2 inches, but here I'm not going to make use of 2 inches because of my paper. So I'm marking out 0.75 inch from that area for my joining allowance. And mind you, your joining allowance is different from the 1 inch you return back to the front. Is different from it. The 1 inch I return back to the front is meant for the dart I'm going to take out from my waistline. So that once you take out your darts from your waistline, so your normal measurement is going to be exactly the way you want it. So that is my joining allowance. That's my joining allowance. If you are new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe and press the red button for notifications. I'll be dropping a video here every weekend. So drop your comments concerning this video. Drop your comments. Make sure you like and share my video. So there's one more thing about the skirt is that if you are not the type of person that used to put your skirt around your stomach, so you are going to come down by 1 inch from your center front, come down by 1 inch in order to avoid folding of excess at your waistline. So you have to remove 1 inch downward like that from your center front. So here is it. Thank you.